Hello everyone and welcome back to Donkey Kong Country. I just finished the level.
Congratulations.
My name's Cody.
And I'm Pooh.
And this is Bumblebee Rumble. You got any advice for this Rumble?
Well, hopefully you'll be okay. There's two zinger-based bosses in Donkey Kong Country, one in this game and one in DKC2. This is by far the easiest. King Zing in the next game is probably the hardest boss in the series. This one, it's really just pattern memorization, knowing how this big old bee is going to move towards you, and as long as you got that figured out, it's not too bad.
Right, and I imagine he is invincible when he is red.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just intuition you build based on the regular size Zinger models. The yellow ones can be killed with barrels, the red ones can't, so one of the nice things about using the regular enemy models and blowing them up for the bosses is that you get to carry your intuition over with you. But yeah, I think you got this. Interesting thing is that the fight is slightly different with Donkey and Diddy, in that, as you can see, Diddy has the barrel right out in front of him, which protects him, obviously.
Yeah.
Donkey will hold the barrel slightly in front of him, which will allow you to hit some enemies, but not all.
Yeah.
So, interesting difference. Oh, do you want... Okay. I'm seeing if you learned anything now from the last time this happened.
You know, what I think we should do is go back and save.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
There you
I've
go.
learned how to use the checkpoint system.
Got the super secret tech that all the second graders were excited about in 1994. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and I didn't even have to enter any, codes to get back to the level that I was on before. That was some classic old Nintendo saving.
Yeah, an interesting thing about that is that the codes kind of went away and came back in the 16-bit era. We're kind of at their low point in 94 here, but the final game in the series, DKC3, has a ton of codes, and that's in large part to the growing popularity of PC gaming at the time. StarCraft had come out by that point, and everyone was excited about StarCraft's codes, so they started to show up again.
Ooh.
But it's a good thing you died there, because I forgot to say, so this is Snow Barrel Blast.
Yeah.
One of, definitely the best level in this game, and arguably the best level in the series, certainly one of the top 3. I'm going to shut up and let you play this.
Alright. And checkpoint.
Cool. So I hope you appreciated that. The music that's playing here, which is absolutely critical to the way this level plays out, is a piece called Northern Hemisphere. It's, in itself, I think a very interesting song. But more than that is how very clearly the level has been built around that piece of music. Most people, when they play the level, they don't actually realize what's happening. You're moving through the level, and the snow is slowly getting worse. The level gets darker and snowier until you get to this kind of whiteout stage you're at right now, where it becomes a very real obstacle.
Yeah.
And the changes in the snow seem to sync up with the music. Each time the music gets a little faster, a little heavier, the conditions change. The music is not the trigger. The environmental effects are not on a time trigger. The environmental effects are entirely based on where you stand on the level. So if you just stood at the start of the level, the music would play, but the weather would never change, and you wouldn't get that nice sync between the change in the environmental effects and the change in the music.
Yeah.
So what this is demonstrating is that Rare is understanding their players well enough and controlling them well enough that they can create that feeling, that atmosphere where the mood of the level is directly reflected in the music without actually controlling anything, just by knowing their players, which is really impressive and not something that I don't see a good example of before or since in platforming.
Oh, I did that on purpose.
So you found the level skip.
Yeah, I definitely did that on purpose.
That's hilarious. Okay, I guess that's good. There's a lot more I wanted to talk about in this level, and you skipped a lot of it.
I just skipped the level by accident, so well. Whew,
that's okay.
Yeah.
I might be honestly rooting for you to pull out a game over if it comes back to it. But so after you go through that initial really atmospheric tone setting portion, the second half of the level is a series of barrel puzzles, which are in themselves very much worth discussing, and really the meat of the level. But the way that it combines that really strong atmospheric buildup and then a really well-designed set of challenges after that are what make Snow Barrel Blast so memorable. And
I'm pressing down on this rope.
Yeah, you cannot fall down on this rope. I think I mentioned this a couple videos ago. These iced ropes are going to force you to slide in one direction only.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And those armadillos are back. I haven't seen those since like the first level.
Yeah, they're gonna come for a bit here. So a very classic, annoyance of platformer games, whether it was in '94 or today, is the iced floors.
Yeah, I don't know why they still think it's good to have iced floors.
I mean, it's an easy way to create a challenge that everyone just implicitly understands right away.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's a Luigi mode.
It is a Luigi mode, yeah.
Which is what I call it, because they released new Super Luigi Bros. U or whatever, which was like a DLC version of Mario U, and it was just it was like different levels that were harder, and you had to play as Luigi, who like slides, and like jumps higher and all that. So yeah, it's one of those. Well, I think it's the kind of thing I'll have to get used to, but hopefully once I'm used to it, I'll be able to deal with this armadillo. Sticks its tongue out at you all the time, like it's so great.
Well, you're gonna have to get used to it, because this next stretch in World 4 is the longest you go in the game without a save point.
Oh, good, because I've got 2 lives left.
You've got 2 lives left, so that might be one of the reasons they include the level skip in Snow Barrel Blast, because you do end up playing through these first couple levels numerous times.
Yeah.
As you attempt to make it to Candy, who is unfortunately a long way off. But yeah, the ice ropes are an interesting mechanic. They try to train you right off the bat here with the K, so you haven't gotten it yet, but at the top of this rope you have access to the K.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to show you is that jumps from the very top of the ropes are quite difficult. You're still being pushed upward by the rope mechanic, which means that you bonk off the ceiling very easily. And so by forcing you to work for the K there, they get you to learn the mechanic, and then you're less frustrated by it in higher stakes situations later on. Yeah. Just a nice little bit of design.
Alright, so... Oh! I think I'm in trouble.
Yeah, so it's exactly the kind of thing I was talking about. So you have to try to get off the rope a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
You can kind of descale the rope itself. If you jump off and catch back on, you can slowly work your way down.
Yeah.
Obviously, right at the start here, this is a puzzle presented to you. They give you that hanging rope. Can you reach it? So far, you've failed 4 times to reach it, but I understand you have other things on your mind.
Hold on. Oh, there is a rope up there. I assume I have to wait for an enemy and then I jump on its head.
Right. But I don't think those critters are coming back.
I could probably get this thing to chase me off the edge. Unless it despawns all the time. Look, dealing with that thing is so much of a pain when... Because it's not only the ice physics, it's the going up the hill physics or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few things going on that looks easy, but actually the controls are just like...
It's brutal, for sure.
Yeah, it's sloppy controls, which for some reason people think is good game design.
Well, when we get to DKC 3, you're going to have levels where they invert the controls on top of everything else, so look forward to that.
Alright, well, what I'm going to do is I'll see you back when we're back there.
Oh, you can just go take Monkey's plates.
Can I?
Yeah, because you came back and saved after you beat the Bumblebee Rumble.
Oh, so I don't have to do Bumblebee Rumble again?
No.
Well, that's useful to know, but I do have to do...
Yeah, but I want to talk about Snow Barrel Blast, so that's okay.
Right.
If that's okay with you.
We're going back into Snow Barrel Blast, everyone.
So you can enjoy this music again.
Well, last time you weren't talking while we were doing this, so I guess this will give you the chance to talk about the stuff that's going on. Because we wanted you to hear the music last time.
Yes. Yeah, and so obviously everything that is going on here is subtly just attempting to control your tempo to get you to move through the level at a specific pace. I don't know exactly the design process that went through this to make sure that your movement speed caused the atmospheric triggers to
Well, that wasn't a secret.
Sync up with the music so closely, but I'm guessing it was a lot of iteration and just trying different sorts of environments until they found ones that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the general idea of designing to music is one that I take pretty seriously myself. On Zelda Universe, my job, or the bulk of my job, for the people that don't know, is that when people on the forum suggest new games that we might play as a community, it's my job to kind of vet those games and make sure that they're going to be fun and go over them with people. So I talk about...
Oh, is that your job?
That's my job.
I thought your job was saying confusing things in Forum Mafia.
Well, I mean, that's
just your hobby.
Very much. Yeah. But lots of times people actually come to me in private and subject themselves to more confusing things as I talk to them about game design and development. And the first tip that I give people is designed to a challenge, right? Know what you want to accomplish that no game has accomplished before, and that gives you a constraint to work under and ensures that your final product is going to be original. But that's not actually how I do my own designs. When I'm putting a game together, I don't start with a challenge, I start with a piece of music, and it's amazing how much inspiration you can find in just a single song to put together a game that's intended to last, for a month.
What music did you have in mind for Mafia 15?
Mafia 15, which was a game about a family competing for an inheritance in supernatural circumstances, was inspired actually by an album, Who Killed Amanda Palmer, which is a very good album. I encourage everybody to go listen to.
Is that a Twin Peaks reference?
It's not a Twin Peaks reference, I don't think.
So who's Amanda Palmer?
Amanda Palmer is Neil Gaiman's wife.
Okay.
Yeah. she had her own. It sucks to identify her like that because she had a brilliant career on her own before she married Gaiman, but Gaiman's just that much more popular.
Right.
Yeah.
And who killed her?
Well, she's still alive.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, so designing to music really, has a lot of benefits that you can reap, and particularly in this case, because the key, I guess, skill in this level is patience. You're firing yourself out of these barrels like there's no tomorrow, not even giving them a full cycle, and it's killing you every time. In order to beat this level without the skip, you need to learn to...
That was the sliding that killed me that time.
Yeah, you need to learn, first of all, how to deal with the snow and ice, but you need to learn to be a little bit patient.
Yeah, well, see, there's a thing called the Let's Play curse.
Yes.
Which is people play worse when they're Let's Playing for a couple of reasons. The first is they have to concentrate on multiple things at once. But the second is that inevitably, when you're playing, you want to rush through so that people see more... Like,
right.
Sitting there waiting for a while for the right thing to happen is the sensible thing to do, and probably what you do if you're on your own. But when you're in a video, you just feel like, oh, well, we should, just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, we keep coming back to this theme. Nintendo is trying to compete with Sonic the Hedgehog here, and there's a million Sonic clones on the market.
Yeah.
So, gotta go fast. If that's gonna be the angle you play, then you're just gonna be accused of being yet another Sonic clone. So this is a level where you really gotta go slow, and that's very much.
Gotta go slow. I don't know why I didn't die just then.
I don't know why you didn't die just then.
Gotta go. There we go.
So, I'm not going to make you or force you to play this level through forever. Certainly, you can take the skip again. That's what most people end up doing. To anybody who is watching and thinking of playing Donkey Kong, though, this really is, I guess, what I would call the first piece of evidence that Rare had the potential for genius. And
I mean, what did they create before this?
Wow, I mean, this nothing before this was anything near this quality. It had its charm, certainly. Rare's original products did, but Battletoads has something going on. I'm not going to deny that, but it's the hints of what would be GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and Banjo-Kazooie and all of that. They first shine through here. But that might be enough to say if you want to pause us now and we can come back when you're back to the ropes.
Alright, sounds good. And we are back. I obviously very quickly defeated Snow Barrel Blast as soon as we were off screen, because that's just how it goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, as we know, you're a gaming genius, and the only reason that we ever see otherwise is because you're trying so hard to entertain us, right?
Right. It's it's like the invisible guy in Mystery Men, where he can turn invisible, but only when no one else can see it. And it's like that here. I can be good at the video games, but only when when no one else is able to see me doing it. All right, look, Armadillo,
I mean,
stop blocking me.
But I obviously don't count.
You're not a viewer.
Right.
I guess you are, since you watch all the videos to look at all of your mistakes.
Yeah.
Like last episode, you called Sega Sony.
I did do that, and I apologize for that.
Which I'm sure someone will pick up on, or maybe they'll be gracious and pick up on it, but we'll just say.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, YouTube comments, of course, are such an evolved form of communication that I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
it'll be
it's so evolved.
Yeah.
Lots of things have evolved from YouTube comments.
Anyway, this is Slipslide Ride.
Look at that checkpoint.
There you go, and we're making swift progress through it.
Yeah.
No, it's what I would call I guess a stock or a standard level. There's nothing particularly revolutionary about it. certainly nothing compared to the last level. They give you a mechanic. We have these blue ropes that drag you up, the red ropes that force you down. You can stop your motion, but you can't reverse it. So there's no way to go down on a blue rope. Well, this could be tough. And from that, they just kind of build, I guess, the obvious puzzles that you would build with that mechanic. Stuff like this, where you're being forced upwards. There's a bee on the top of the rope. You got to get past the bee. Or you're being forced downwards, and there's a hole at the bottom. You have to avoid falling into the hole, right? Pretty straightforward kind of stuff. Exactly what anybody would design given this mechanic, but that's okay. I mean, not every level can be revolutionary. It doesn't stop it from being fun, hopefully.
I mean, it doesn't always have to be revolutionary. Let's see. That rope started moving, which none of them have done before.
It's just sliding side to side. Alright, this is the last puzzle. It's an interesting one. You kind of got to rappel back and forth between the red ropes. This is a good kind of classic platforming dexterity challenge. Maybe something like you would see something like this in Meat Boy. So like this sort of platform is certainly.
This is some wall jumping. No.
Oh, brutal.
Oh, I didn't jump up quite high enough, it seems like.
But, I mean, for being fairly simplistic, there are some nice things going on with this level. In order to take advantage of the vertical movement and the rope mechanic, the level doesn't just go left to right, it goes up and down quite a bit. So it's a lot like the water levels that we've discussed before. And they've had to sell that, right? They had to find a way to explain why this level was oriented so differently than the levels before it. And so we get the cave, this nice icy cave where it feels natural to be moving through a maze kind of thing.
Yeah.
They actually find a number of great ways to do this throughout the series. The most famous, by far, of course, are the brambles, the viney levels in DKC2. But this is still a lot of fun. I mean, the art's not bad. They do improve on the Crystal Cave kind of design game to game, and even bring it back for DK64. So it does get some, some cash to it.
Yes!
And there you go.
And now, with my 2 lives or whatever, I need to defeat another, 3 levels that I've never done before. So probably off screen I'll game over and then come back to here with as many lives as possible.
Yeah.
But
okay, we can talk about that next video, but
yeah,
I think we're good.
Then what we're gonna do is we'll see you next video.
See you later.